Hello everyone, good afternoon. It is great to connect with all the people who are watching us live today. My name is Chirayu Bhatt. I am Deputy Provost for Academics at CEPT University, and I welcome all of you to be part of a new experiment at CEPT. In the last 5 years or more, CEPT has started this new tradition of having an exhibition of all the work that our students have done in the one semester preceding. So the entire student body exhibits the work that they have done in the studio units over the last one semester. And we've been doing this consistently for the last 5+ years. Of course, during COVID, for a little bit, we had to go online. But since then, we've come back to a full physical exhibition. And while the city of Ahmedabad and the people here, the professionals, the students, and even teachers from other colleges come and visit us, we've always been wondering, how do we take this further? How do we engage with audiences across the country and other places to be part of this and to look at the work that our students have done and to give us feedback on that? So this is our experiment, this is our attempt. What we are going to do over the next 3 days is to try and give all of you an experience of our exhibition. My colleague Gaurav Juyal is going to be with you over the next 3 days, and he's going to walk with you through the exhibition across the different faculties and different programs to look at student work, to engage with the faculty members and the studio problems that they have dealt with, and how have they proposed the different solutions that they've come up with. So that's the journey I would invite you all on. Let me share a little bit about our academic structure and how our programs are structured, right? So as you can see here, Level 1, Level 2 and Level 3, this comprises our undergraduate programs. Level 1, L1 is the common first year, which is called the CEPT Foundation program. So all the undergraduate program students jointly undertake this first year, and it is focused on building foundational abilities. They learn things like drawing, sketching, color theory, measurement, weights, structures, all of these things. And this is across architecture, urban design, design and civil engineering. All of these students come together and undertake this foundation program. Then after successfully completing that, they move on to L2, level 2. At level 2, the studios are focused on building specific design abilities. They are focused on visualizing and communicating, planning and organizing, constructing and specifying, analyzing and designing. And all students have to focus on building arguments and rationale. Why are they proposing the solutions that they are proposing? What's the rationale behind it? And how does it solve the particular design or engineering problem? So that's level 2. And after completing that, students move on to L3, which is the 4th and 5th year. Here, students take on advanced design problems, but also engage with trying to find out what is their own approach to design, what is their own approach to architecture, and what is their approach to problem solving. So that's the undergraduate programs, L1, L2, L3. And at L4 are all the postgraduate programs. And we have a diverse range of 19 postgraduate programs across the 5 faculties of architecture, planning, management, design, and technology. So students from diverse locations and diverse backgrounds come together at CEPT to look at the problems that our cities and our built environment faces, and to try and arrive at solutions for them. And this exhibition is a great way to understand what these programs are about and how they contribute to improving our quality of life. So once again, thank you for joining us, and I welcome you on this journey over the next 3 days. And now let me hand it over to my colleague Gaurav Jiyal. So hello everyone, and my name is Gaurav. I'll be taking you through the journey, through the programs, through the different studios, and also the work that the students have done. So we are going to cover Faculty of Design and Faculty of Technology today. So first of all, in the line we have Bachelors in Design, and we have with us Smith, who is right here. Hi.
Hey, hello.
Hi. Smith. So this is the program Bachelors in Design, and Smith is going to talk about it and also introduce himself about the program.
Yes.
So,
Hello, I'm Smith Makwan, and I'll be talking about the.
oh, so sorry.
Just a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be talking about the Bachelor in Design program. So the unique thing of this program is that it is specifically tailor-made in terms of having different studios as a curriculum. It is a choice-based program where the students will have a definite choice as per their aspirations. I would like you introduce to one of the programs that we are offering, which is called New Product Development in Sustainable Practice, where we uh, uh, have something which is which we call design process in the world of industrial design, mixed with something called life cycle assessment, which is nothing but sustainability in context to industrial design. When we merge both, how is the outcome and what is the outcome in terms of products and in terms of system? That is what we have explored. So as you look around the studios, our students have done various kind of projects which are cost based, which are something related to service design, which are also related to system design, as well as you can see, the entire design process has been followed, where the students also explore research, they also explore visual storytelling, the students also explore 3D renderings and 3D models, also prototyping, also materials and manufacturing processes, and a very hands-on experience that we are here to cater and we are here to provide, which gives a theoretical knowledge as well as a practical knowledge at the same time. So Bachelor of Design program is a very holistic and a very cohesive sort of a learning and design, which not only gives student a perspective of the question of why we are doing things, but it also teaches how we are doing things. So if I like you to take one of the project, this is one of the project which is for the AMC workers. It is a garbage collection cart, which was relooked and redesigned by one of our students, where she reimagined the whole social aspect of sustainability, of how the sustainability can cater to a person, where not only the product but also the social aspect of it. And this is the beautiful outcome, where she has relooked the garbage cart in terms of materials, in terms of cost efficiency, in terms of durability, in terms of recyclability, and also in terms of catering to the user, which we call human-centered design. So if you see, it's a holistic process, it's a holistic project where we consider each and every aspect of design, where the student learns from research to the final testing and prototyping. So that's one of the projects that our students has done. Apart from that, we are not only exploring, we are not only limiting ourselves to just a one segment of product design. As you can see, there are projects which are also based on inclusivity, where there's a student who has developed a game which talks about cognitive and motor skill development for blind people, where she has introduced a game which enhances the sensibility of touch, and which caters to the whole learning aspect of a blind kid and of a blind person. So that's another wonderful example. This is also a beautiful example where we have considered the lifestyle of a construction worker. So privacy is the utmost thing which they require when they are on site in the neo slums, which they lack. So the student has identified that problem, and then she has tried to cater a solution where we have developed a system rather than a singular product. So we are also having a system level thinking to the solution, and not only limiting to a product. So that's one of the examples.
Smith, I have a question from
Yeah,
you.
sure.
For the Bachelors in Design
Yes.
program, is there a kind of aptitude which is expected from a student?
Definitely. I guess design is something which is, I believe, which is very aptitude and skill based. Sketching is an utmost priority. observation is also a second priority. Reading a lot, gaining exposure and knowledge about various fields and various ideas and techniques is something that we also look forward for. Also, some hands-on skills is also required. I guess that will give you a good head start to while you come to the foundation course and while you come to the Bachelor of Design course. So I guess those are the only prerequisites.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Smith.
Yeah.
And now we'll be heading to another studio from Bachelor's in Design, and we're going to be meeting Mayur there. So right now you will see that a lot of our programs are around products, but we are also very soon going to release from next semester. We're going to have communication design coming in. So the options to choose from Bachelor's in Design is just going to increase at CEPT. And now we're off to meeting Mayur. Hi, Mayur.
Hi.
We'll just give us a second. We'll give you a mic and then we can start.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So Mayur, you can quickly introduce yourself and then you can introduce your studio and your experience around the same.
Right. So my name is Mayur Balavi.
Yeah.
I'm a visiting faculty at CEPT and I'm a product designer and a mechanical engineer by my background. And the studio which I took this semester was called the Design of Mechanical Objects.
Okay.
So the students have designed products which have mechanisms or moving components in them to solve a particular problem related to users scenario.
Okay.
So yeah.
Maybe some examples if you can give us.
So the students primarily worked around the theme of like say collapsibility or transformability or adjustability. So they have designed products like, for example, this is a shape cutting tool. So usually users have to buy a separate cutting tool for separate individual shapes, but this is all shapes and all size in one single product.
Okay.
So it's a multi-size shape cutter. This is an assistive device for cutting straight lines on prototyping materials. So that's a cutter. This is a device for automatically pinning up sheets on the tag board. So it uses an interesting revolver mechanism. So you push the device,
so it shoots out a
it shoots out a pin,
Okay.
and then it automatically rotates for the next pin to be available for pinning.
It's like a Gatling gun.
Yeah, it's like a pin gun.
Yeah.
This is a photography light box. So the USP of this is it can be collapsed and folded into as small as how an umbrella becomes. So that's using a flexible TPU joinery in the cube. So
if I may ask you, what kind of industries do you think the students who undergo this course or the whole program can look into?
Okay, so the students can go into applications which have combination of mechanical and electrical.
Okay.
Like for example, our everyday appliances have mechanical, like for example, a washing machine. So in appliance industries, mixer grinders, they can also be a benefit from this course and apply for automotive and also toys, which also have a lot of moving parts.
Yes.
So these are some of the industries where the students can.
And do students need a engineering aptitude or like any constraints when they're applying in terms of, because it sounds mechanical and it sounds oriented in that sense.
Okay, so they don't need to have a very strong mechanical background for this. Okay. So there are certain exercises before the studio that are meant for teaching them the basics of mechanical principles and mechanisms.
Okay.
After that, they go on to the problem solving.
Okay. So basically, they can come in as complete beginner.
Yes.
Then develop the certain aptitude they require.
Yes.
And then they can go into the complex problem solving.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So
all of these products that you see
Yeah.
have been designed for a particular brand called Dismo. So again, the class has come up with a hypothetical brand.
Oh, Dismo is the hypothetical brand.
Dismo is the hypothetical brand, and so it's not just problem solving for the user, but the students have also gone through that exercise of branding all of the products for a seamless language of the products.
Okay. I think that is what is special about studio setup.
Yeah.
It's not a course.
Yeah.
It's a complete problem solving, and how many things you can solve, including branding, including setting up and product design, let's say.
Yeah.
So they can go beyond the obvious and also develop the ecosystem within which it is placed.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mayur.
Thank you so much.
And if you can accompany me to, we are going to meet Call of Sir.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to understand, how long have you been taking a studio?
This was my first time taking studio at SEPT.
Okay.
But I have been teaching as a visiting faculty since the last 6 years
Okay.
at multiple places.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. You can accompany me. That's okay.
Yeah.
It's a little streamlined. And thank you so much, Mayur,
Thank
for
you
your
so
time.
much,
I'll just take the
Gaurav.
mic
Yes.
and I'll transfer it to Call of Sir.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Alright.
Okay. Call of Sir, this is your. And so we have Call of Sir with us. He's the. Actually, it will be the best if you introduce yourself, sir.
Okay, so I'm a program chair of Masters of Furniture Design program. I'm a furniture designer myself, and I'm looking over to furniture design studios. So, by- okay, so these are this work which you are seeing here is all furniture design students' work. This is semester 2
Okay.
students' work. They have actually dealt with the furniture which can be flat pack.
Okay.
And largely
Okay.
they are in 3 different categories.
Okay.
Being one is the storage units
Mhm.
and display units
Mhm.
for library and retail spaces.
Okay.
They have designed also exhibition system which can be also flat pack and can be moved to different spaces.
Mhm.
And they have also dealt with the retail systems. So these are the 3 categories. There are various material they have used like wood, metal,
Okay.
plastics, and try and explore different concepts.
So, sir, for a master student who might be applying for masters in furniture design,
Yeah.
is there something like an aptitude that you would recommend that students should inculcate or have before they apply,
Okay.
or some insights into the program?
Yes, I actually we actually look forward to students who has a good observation skill.
Okay.
They can observe their day-to-day object, some kind of events which is happening around them, which they keenly observe and find certain interesting insight from them. That will be I think for me that's a first kind of important virtue for students for furniture designer, and rest is that they can learn over the period of time certain skills, certain ability that they can learn when they join here. But yes, observation skill is what I would rate the most.
Okay. And just to give the extent, like the extent to which the master's program in furniture design offers. So one is, of course, furniture. When somebody hears who's a layman or someone who's
Yeah.
not been through the program, they'll think a chair and a table.
Yes.
Now, as we can see, we have display units.
Correct.
What else can be covered within the program?
So there is another studio here, which is of the 4th semester, which is their final semester. And what they have dealt with is a office furniture system.
Okay.
So to focus on this studio, they have actually we have collaborated with Godrej, which they are the number 1 in India for office furniture and otherwise for furniture. So they have given us a brief to develop a furniture for offices, which is, let's say, multinational offices or government offices or co-working spaces. Those kind of office furniture they wanted to develop. So that brief they have given, and students have actually worked on various elements like desking system, seating systems, screen and partition systems. So those kind of furniture they have dealt with. So I can also say that furniture is not only about the chair and table and bed and wardrobes, but these are the very very complex kind of furniture systems which is now available in market and which is really required and need of the hour, because as India we are growing in every direction. Like people are working in good offices, people are buying good houses, and everywhere you need a furniture which is for their comfort.
Okay. Okay. So thank you so much, sir, for
My pleasure.
telling us about this thing. And is there anything else you want to add regarding your program for students to, before they're applying, any process they should know?
I think the only thing I can tell the future students, if they want to apply in Masters in Furniture Design, at least they should have a curiosity to know something new about it. Every time they should have a little childlike curiosity,
Yeah.
that every time they should experiment with small things, but that small things really matters a lot, and then it becomes a larger kind of a systems or a furniture.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Kalu, sir.
Thank you.
I'll just take the mic.
Yes,
Thank you so
sure.
much, sir.
Thank you.
And now I'll be heading to Anand, sir. Oh, there we have. We'll start with Jinal. Hi, Jinal. I'll give you the mic first. Okay.
Hi.
So this is Jinal, and she'll be taking us through the Masters in Computational Design and Fabrication.
So
Okay.
hi, I am Jinal Shah. I'm an assistant professor at the Faculty of Design, and I'm also the program chair of the newly established Masters in Computational Design and Fabrication program.
Yes.
We established it, as you know, last year in 2023. So the program is premised in the need of today's design processes to integrate computational tools, techniques, digital technologies, and fabrication processes. So this is a program which is open for students of architecture design. So we have a mixed cohort in this year, and it equips the students not only with the skills that are required, but also with the computational thinking, which
Okay.
is the need of today's hour. So let me walk you through the work that is done by the students.
Yeah.
So this is currently the work of the students done by the semester 2 of this program.
Okay.
The studio is called Materiality in Computational Design. It focuses more on exploring the material properties of clay and ceramic.
Okay.
As you are aware, it's one of the most widely used materials, and people are experimenting with it in today's time. So to explain you one of the projects, what over here the student has tried to do is, as a part of the entire design studio process, they understood first is the material properties, its structural strength, along with it also integrated fabrication processes. So they made molds, like, so for example, this project is done through the method called press casting,
Okay.
where modules have been developed. Now these modules, as you can see over here, have been developed through an understanding of an iterative process and the structural properties, one of the material and the form that it is developed.
Okay.
So overall, the program and the studio focuses on an integrative approach,
Okay.
which looks at how material, form and fabrication processes together could result into innovative design solutions.
Okay.
So over here, you might be aware we have terracotta tiles which
Yes.
are used in order to
Yes.
make roofing
Yes,
and
yes,
some
yes.
systems. But here, what has been done is they've developed an interlocking system. So it's more like a dry masonry, and it's a structural system, so it can help you develop vaults
Okay.
or sine curve forms and pavilions, and purely through an understanding of geometry and the structural properties of the material.
So because of computational design, we can actually first design the form and then achieve it through computational
So it's an
methods.
iterative process.
Okay, both
So
ways.
simultaneously you are understanding the fabrication process. Then you go back to, okay, this was the form I had developed. Now this is the fabrication technique.
Okay.
So it's not a linear process, but it's like
To
an
and fro.
iterative to and fro.
Okay.
That's why I said it's an integrated approach.
Okay.
So across this studio, students have achieved diverse techniques. So this has been done through extrusion.
Okay.
So there are series of modules which are developed, but in such a way that through permutation and combination, you can achieve multiple iterations and multiple facades. And not just that, also they have kind of, if you see, try to optimize the use of the material and the way things could join. So if you see, there is an entire process, and as I said, a process which has gone through not just develop the form, but also optimize it in relation to the material and the technique being used.
For the final fabrication.
For the final fabrication
Okay.
technique. So across, there are multiple diverse projects. So the studio and the program not only just focuses on one kind of an output or one kind of a technique which could be used,
Okay.
but if it's a larger design process, how it can, through how students use it, or
Okay.
what is their approach and their stand towards an understanding of material, how multiple things could be achieved. So to give you another example over here, this student used this technique to develop a mold.
Okay.
Like when I say computational design tools techniques, it's not just for form, but you can also apply it for developing
The technique which will create the form.
technique which will
Yeah,
create the
yeah.
form. So if you see over here, he has designed these notches.
Okay.
Now through this, it's interesting in a way that just by changing how you can fit and adjust these notches, it will give you this module with less distance, with a medium
Okay,
distance and more distance.
Okay.
Also, by changing the central piece, you can achieve multiple forms.
So it's a modular mold.
It's a modular mold. So here the computational techniques are not just to design the form, but to actually fabricate the process.
Which is even more important.
Which is even more interesting. So every student can take their own stand and their own approach to the application of these processes.
Okay.
So this is one. Another, this is where again the student has used a press casting method, but in this they have developed like a passive cooling system. So it's a single module, but the arrangement is such that if you pour water, because of the geometry and the form, the water will keep on falling.
Okay.
It will get accumulated only till a particular height. So when the air passes, it kind of cools.
Okay.
So then the challenge that were addressed was not just in making the form, but how do you actually prepare the molds, or how do you design your own technique to build these forms.
And these molds are 3D printed, are they?
So the thing was, yes, first they were 3D printed. Then they made a POP mold using that 3D printed form.
Yes.
And then again, they made. So it was a positive, negative, positive.
Okay.
And along with this, we also, so these were certain traditional techniques which already exist. Now, along with that, there are projects which have also explored 3D printing.
Okay.
So as we know, we have a well-established CEPT workshop and Fab Lab, and the program, prides itself in talking about learning by doing.
Yes.
So we utilize the CEPT workshop and its facilities to its fullest potential, and it has helped students actually achieve their outputs.
Okay.
So we have a 3D printer. So this is the student who actually developed forms and modules using 3D printing. So again, at varying scales, this is more like a volumetric form, and this is more in terms of where the patterns are what actually decides the way the light would impact the interiors.
Okay.
So again, the way, the techniques that have been implemented have been diverse across the different projects.
Okay. One last thing, so that there is a little more clarity to the students.
Yes.
What would you say is the ideal aptitude that you're looking for in a student, and what should they be aware of before they apply to this program?
So I believe one is their interest in learning something, coming up with a new iterative design process, the zeal to kind of integrate and learn these tools, techniques, and have their own stand on how these processes could be integrated within maybe an existing design process, or develop their own new design processes. As I said, we have a mixed cohort from architects to interior designers to product designers and industrial designers. So I believe that every student comes with their own learning, and this program actually helps them develop their own learning further. So to answer to what you have been asking is, one is the zeal and the that motivation to learn and experiment something new, the whole process of learning by doing. And moreover, I think the program during the first semester itself equips the students with the tools and the knowledge which is required to help them in the upcoming 2 years. So as we say, you really don't need a definite prerequisite to enter the program, because we, during the foundation studio, which is the semester 1, we help students to learn and implement those techniques and softwares.
And because it says computational,
Yes.
is there any relation to, let's say, programming or?
Yes.
So
Yes, I would strongly, in semester 1 and semester 2, we also help students we teach students programming languages for Grasshopper and Rhino.
Okay.
So some of the projects have actually incorporated that programming, because when you want to ready available have their certain limitations.
Yeah.
So actually programming helps them to push those boundaries and develop forms, and not just forms but also fabrication techniques which are more
And
optimal.
customize it
And
according-
customize it.
Yes.
Yes. So that is,
Okay.
we do take programming as a part of it.
Okay. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Shinal. And I'll take
Yes.
the mic. And now we'll be going to our next program. Anand sir.
Hi.
Good evening. I'll just put the mic on you.
Sure.
Hi.
Hi.
So we have
We'll
Mr.
probably
Anand
go
with
here.
us. Sir, if you could have a short introduction
Yeah.
that we can have of yours, and then the program.
Yeah, so I'm a practicing architect, and I've been practicing last 25 years.
Okay.
And I've been teaching at CEPT last 7-8 years on and off. And this time we are taking a studio which is a master's in building systems and products, which focuses on building products and systems
Yeah.
which are applicable to all kinds of buildings.
Okay. Okay.
In this particular studio, the focus has been on pre-engineered buildings, which
Okay.
basically are large metal buildings, mainly used for industries and warehousing.
Okay.
And the idea is that the students get exposure to that type of building, which is an industrially produced building. But also along the way, this particular technology system of building is being adopted for domestic use, so not solely for industrial use.
Okay.
And so happens that CEPT requires more studio space, and thus this building was proposed,
Okay.
which is now going to go under construction.
Oh, amazing. So is this
Yeah,
building?
this is a live project.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So, unfortunately, it was supposed to start in January, but it's starting now.
Yeah, that
But
happens.
still, the students got quite a good exposure on the actual design of the building, which is here.
Okay.
They also got the chance to interact with the industry which makes these buildings. It's a company called Phoenix here in Ahmedabad.
So we are expecting this building to be constructed
Yeah,
on campus.
exactly as you see it.
Okay. And students have worked on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is a
remarkable.
part model of that. So
Oh,
as you can see, it's a 60 feet span, 20 meters on a single span. So actually there is no column here.
Okay.
And it's basically a large air-conditioned shed.
Okay. Yes.
The way it is constructed is from basically, so the difference between a regular steel construction and a pre-engineered steel construction
Yes.
is that in pre-engineered buildings, the emphasis on a high degree of precise engineering and thus economizing on the use of material.
Huh.
So you use steel sheets
Yes.
or coil form, and you basically cut the steel sections as per exact engineering requirements.
Yeah.
What happens is if you are using ready sections, hot roll sections, then you get standard sizes.
And then you cut and then
yeah, so exactly. So there's
Yes.
more amount of tonnage of steel that goes into it.
Definitely.
So that is one advantage. So you minimize on material.
Okay.
It's highly efficient because you get a sheet of steel, you just cut it with a plasma cutter. It's welded on site, and the rest of the entire building is shipped in parts to the site,
And then just
and it's bolted.
bolted, assembled.
It's just
it together.
bolted. It's assembled at
It's like a
site.
Lego for adults.
It's exactly like Meccano. There used to be this
Yes. Yes. Mechanic.
like
yes,
Meccano.
yes,
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So this system has been around in the world for the last good 60-70 years.
Okay.
Post World War, it became very popular. India is adapting to this very, very fast. If you see all the industrial areas now, you would find that almost 70%, 80% of buildings are all made out of this kind of system. However, the system has not evolved, or the industry around the OEMs have not evolved around this
Yeah.
to service the particular requirements for this type of construction. So part of the emphasis of the studio was to get the students to think about all the other various components apart the steel part,
Yeah.
which makes this building usable for domestic use.
Okay.
So one is integration of air handling systems.
Because that will take it to the the common people. Because otherwise it will be limited to industrialists
Exactly.
and industries only.
Exactly.
All right.
So one part is the insulation of the steel shed.
Yes.
So there are various systems available for that. Then there is integration of air conditioning systems, lighting systems, occasionally also if you require plumbing systems. And all of that has to run exposed because we don't have walls to conceal that.
Yes.
So it has to be engineered along with the building.
And that's where you can engineer in certain form that doesn't have to be concealed.
Yes,
That
exactly.
itself looks beautiful. if
Exactly. So it
done
gets
well.
that sort of a, industrial aesthetic. So out of the 13 students, all students had taken up one component of the building, so which is also from the steel parts, but also the systems part. So somebody is doing lighting, somebody is doing electrification, somebody is doing the suspended ceiling. So if you see this entire rack assembly, this is a suspended ceiling from the main structure.
Yes.
And this takes care of all the lighting systems, air conditioning systems.
You can conceal
and
all of
also in the future, this is a multi-purpose building. So if I move all my furniture, I have an empty shed. So
That you can use for-
I can use for lectures, for exhibitions actually.
And
So
you can
for-
change the format at any given point.
So
of time.
basically you are getting a large format footprint
Yes.
and can be used for imagination, whatever you want.
So
And that is the idea, so that you just, all the furniture can be pushed back. So there is no physical solid partition in between. So everything is free.
all right.
Yeah.
So a student of an MBBS program can expect building products and systems related to buildings and spaces.
So any kind. So this is kind of specific to pre-engineered buildings. But as an architect, I know for sure that even when you do regular construction, which is brick and concrete construction, even in there is so much of, even concrete is batched industrially.
Yes.
But as architects, we don't bother with it.
Yes.
So I think that there is now a huge gap between the understanding of what industry does,
Yes.
what engineers do, and then architects are kind of at the receiving end. In fact, they should be on the top of the pyramid to be able to understand all these things. Architects are great generalists. We are specializing in nothing whatsoever.
I understand.
But because we have the grand picture,
yes,
it is of great importance.
For strategy and planning, especially.
And architects, if they don't know how things are made, how things are assembled, what things cost, what fits where, what goes with what, there is no way you can be a good architect. So even if you were not specializing purely into, say, becoming a manufacturer of things, for people who are doing this course, just the fact that you really start understanding a building from production point of view, right?
Yes.
Not just assembly point of view.
Yeah.
Then you have far better insight. You can develop things much better.
Yes.
Dialogue with industry becomes very important. So this example was a very good example because this is an industrially made building entirely.
True.
But let's say if you collaborate even with brick makers, or you collaborate with people who are making various hardwares for buildings, from door handles are very common.
Yes.
But everything in a building is actually made somewhere.
Yeah.
Whether it's your plywood, your veneers,
you bring it on the site and then
how
you
your
assemble
stone
it.
is quarried and how it is polished, and So architects have been shying away from this idea that it's not their thing to understand how something works, how a AC system works, or how a AC duct is made, or how a light fixture is made. So in that sense, I have found it very important, and I got this opportunity to do this course.
Okay.
And I think overall we had good fun.
Thank you so much,
Pleasure.
Anand, sir.
Pleasure.
I'll just take the mic.
Yeah.
So sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
And as you can see, summer exhibition is an extensive exhibition of all the programs of all the studios that the students have done. I would highly recommend it for prospective students, for parents, for even if you're just if you have an interest in things, for creative things, for how things are built, then this is a beautiful place to come. And I would really want to invite at this point of time to all the people that please come to CEPT University and let's and witness the amount of work that the students have done. So, hi Niyati. Would you be able to put it on your? There would be a clip.
Is there?
Yeah. 1 second, maybe.
Oh.
Perfect.
Okay.
So, should we go to your?
Sure, please.
studio?
Let's.
I think the last one over there.
This
This is for
one,
the camera.
yes.
It's not easy for the camera to maneuver through a maze of.
Yeah, this is us.
Yes, over here. So we have Niyati with us. Niyati, if
Hello,
you can
hi.
tell us a little bit about yourself and then your studio.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm Niyati. I'm the co-tutor for the studio, which is an L3 unit studio. The course is called Contextualizing Interior Space Making, which along with me is tutored by Prashant Pradhan. This is basically a hospitality design course wherein the students design 4 main hospitality spaces. The basic crux of the studio is that it is an inquiry into how interior architecture responds to the context in which it is based. So they go through a very meticulous process of extracting concepts from the context and then converting them onto their designs. The sites that they are given for intervention are live projects. They are undertaken by Prashant Pradhan Architects. Currently, for this edition, we took them to Kalimpong. I'll just take you through how the studio sort of works. So we
Just
begin.
wanted to mention one thing, that this is the Bachelor's in Interior Design
Oh,
program.
sorry.
No,
Yeah.
just so that they know the context of
Yeah,
the
it's a BID
Yes,
L3
please.
studio. Yes. So we begin with a 2-week module which we call Explore and Analyze, which is basically intended for the students to get used to hospitality spaces, wherein they pick up case studies from architects like Geoffrey Bawa and Kerry Hill, who have successfully done context-based hospitality spaces, and they analyze them through various stages. They go through something that we call material culture tracing, experience mapping and analysis, and we've broken that down into layers that are very relevant to interior design, like the form, the finishes, the furniture, furnishings and accessories and so on. And this is repeated for all the 4 spaces that they eventually end up designing, which starts from the reception to the restaurant to spa and wellness and eventually to the rooms. After this, the students go on a week-long site visit, wherein a 2-week-long module is introduced, which we call Sensitize, which is aimed at sensitizing the students to the context. So they basically analyze the context not just through its physical attributes, but also through its cultural, political, historical attributes as well. And this is actually their work from the site visit. So they produce an analysis that is done through various scales, right from a global scale to a regional to a local scale to immediate, which is around the site, and then finally to the site. Okay. So this is their analysis from their site visit. Now, while they are on site, they are asked to observe either objects or phenomena which are very particular to the context that they are visiting. So we go through important historical places, cultural places. They immerse basically in the culture and the tradition of people around. And they pick up these observations, which we later on extract while they are on site. And from these observations and extractions is when they pick up their concepts. So if you would see, the students actually collect objects from site. Okay. So these are all these objects that you will see on each student's tables are actually objects that they have collected from their site visit.
It's also trying to understand the culture
of the place
a little more deeper into, and not just go as a tourist, see things around.
Yes.
Okay.
And then these basically observations that they pick out become base for them to develop their concepts. And they come back and then they extend their researches out into, because these are very culturally sensitive subjects which need to be researched deeper as well. So that stage is carried out through an exercise that we call synthesize, wherein they basically are just expanding the realm of their research and collecting more data on their concepts, getting into concept translations. They produce these kind of abstract models here, which basically help them understand how spatially their concepts are going to work. So these are just at a very abstract level, like you're seeing. And from here on, we go through a stage wherein they taught how to formalize their concepts. So there's something called a concept statement through which they formalize what they are willing to do through their concepts and what is their intent like. So then they produce intent diagrams and we get into conceptual drawings and then developing layouts. And then we get into the major 2 stages of the studio, which is the application and the articulation. So in the application stage, you'll see that they develop layouts for the 4 spaces that they're supposed to design. We get into deeper fine tuning of the design as well. They develop mood boards that help them choose materials, textures. They get into lighting, both natural and artificial. And all this again is informed by their concept, which is so contextually specific.
Okay.
So all these, these drawings that they sort of produce not just help them translate their concepts visually, but also help them through the process fine-tune their design as well. So they go through a lot of design detailing also at this stage while we are producing these axos, and of course renders become the end stage where it is the most tangible translation of
and
their
you can see
designs.
each and every where the lighting would be,
Correct,
and
correct.
even the details of various.
Yeah, yes.
So when we say interior design, so a lot of students and parents have the stereotype in mind, which is, let's say, commercial and residential.
Correct.
So can you give a little more broader aspect of your field, so that they have a much more wider understanding of what all it can encompass? For example, we can see
Right.
that they are designing it for a very specific context, which is culturally oriented. It's
Correct,
not even
correct.
just a residential house or something.
Right.
As simple as that. And then the process that we have seen that they go through, it's way more complex than people get to know. So this is a
Correct.
good chance for them to understand that it's a lot more intelligent designed methods than just you feel like something and you do it.
Right, right.
Right?
So again, I mean, in today's time when students go out into the field to design interior spaces, it's very important for them to realize where they are doing it. And that is where the process that they go through in the studio really helps them. The skills that they acquire, not just in terms of designing a hospitality space, but this whole process that they go through of converting a concept which is so contextually driven and then translating that into a very tangible design is something that is a big takeaway for them when they go through a course like this. So it not just helps them translate it or further in the field, is not restricted to just hospitality spaces, but expands out to, say, institutions as well, residences as well, and any kind of interior space for that matter.
Okay. And over a short walk, I'll just ask you, for example, the students who are applying, if you have a short message for them so that they can prepare themselves a little better.
Right. Like you saw, the studio follows a very meticulous process, which is very intensive. Each of the module is sort of crafted so that they go through these very necessary stages that are required to translate a contextually driven concept. So that is why I think consistency is something that we really push towards the students as well, that they really need to be consistent in all these modules that they're going through. A lot of hard work is required consistently throughout the studio. And also because they're not just dealing with one space, which is the 4 independent spaces, but they're also dealing with a very holistic idea of like a whole hotel or a whole resort. So they're constantly juggling between 2 scales, which is like a very macro to a very micro level as well. So I think consistency is something that we really even push the students to sort of strive for as well.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So much. I'll just take the mic from you. Thank you. And thank you again, Niti, for your time. And now we have Jay sir. And so if you could just give us a little introduction about yourself, then Bachelors of Interior Design and your studio.
Am I supposed to look at you? I'm supposed to look at
We
them?
can talk.
We can talk,
Haan,
right?
and then we can show things around.
ठीक है. Okay. So I'm Jai Thakkar.
If you can come here, because this is a much
nicer, brighter. ठीक है. Perfect. So I'm Jai Thakkar. I have been teaching at Faculty of Design, which was School of Interior Design. I've been teaching since past 19 years. I've done my graduate from here, done my master's from UK, and largely I've been teaching multiple diverse studios. One which deals with craft and culture, one which deals with exhibition design, one deals with game design. But this studio, what you are currently looking at it, this is called Fictional Spaces. The studio essentially largely deals in a more multidisciplinary manner, but looks at films as one of the key areas where designers can become part of it. So this is the place where we look at not only films as a body of material to take inspirations from, but we also look at them that tomorrow if they want to practice production design, to want to go into set design, theatre, scenography, at any point, this is one of the studios which is going to play one of the crucial roles towards that.
Okay.
Also, so just to let you know that within India, there are no largely any courses which deal with production design. So major of the people who work within the film and the film sets are largely either architects or somebody who is trained on the ground. There are no formal courses except one or two here and there. So this studio becomes one of the most important one in that aspect. And one of the way we also train students is also we take them to Mumbai and various places. We meet with various production designers, art directors, actors, script writers to understand what is films. And the second part is we also teach them how to imagine for more fictional world, considering films, Netflix, OTT platform, all of them have now come into play. This is one of the areas where interior designers are going to play a major role.
So can we say this particular studio is also unique because it translates stories into spaces and more, I guess?
This studios help designers or design students in a multifaceted way. One, which you said, which is kind of quite right, that it allows people to imagine a text, or textual based, basically narratives, into a more visual narratives. That's one part of it, and variety of exercises do deal with that. Second part, which essentially basically helps them to also kind of deal in a more fictional or imaginary space and the realm, at this point. So it allows them not only for, let's say, films, but for any of the future projects which they are basically doing, and it also allows them to do a very quick thinking, immediate thinking, allowing to take various visual styles from variety of different places, and kind of put them together in a more holistic manner into a singular visual narrative that we look at.
And I also see some beautiful, if you can see some of them and if you can explain.
So, as I said, that this studio looks at idea of films, right? Over here, we have taken variety of different films where production design plays one of the most crucial part. And we have taken Indian narratives like Mahabharata, and we are saying that if films like basically, let's say, Matrix and this entire crew or a team, right, or let's say Gatsby, or Black Panther, if that team comes together, and if they are going to basically play or make Mahabharata in contemporary times, then what would that be? So this becomes a narrative in which it's a more global team coming together and talking about Indian narratives in a recent time. So the students are kind of looking at what those films were, who were the people, who were the production designers and the directors, and then they look at the Indian narratives. They choose one of the characters. So in this, what you see around is Gandhari, and Gandhari in a more basically, let's say, a time which is an amalgamation of a little Matrix, and hence the idea of maze.
And the color
palettes and things like that. And also more Indian culture and aesthetics and the values which they basically bring in. So interestingly over here, she has a lab which has got multiple pods because she kind of gives birth to 100 kids. So in a more Matrix style, it is looking at the idea of so it's a kind of a mixture of those, and that's a kind of a basically the future which would it be, And similarly, as we start going a little further, this is the Gatsby. In which Vidur is kind of there. So the Gatsby directors are coming together and making it a more art deco, but Indian art deco 1920s, but still bringing in Indian elements, and both of them together, and that's how they are kind of making the spaces. So here the characters from Mahabharata are kind of coming alive in a more present time, and students are supposed to pick one or two scripts from Mahabharata. They have to do an entire research on what it is, and then take it further and says, if these directors are developing them, then how do we do in a more basically theatrical manner, in a more set design manner, because films are always about not the actual spaces, but more fictional spaces, considering that there might be only two walls and then this shot gets taken. There's sometimes never a ceiling, there's only one shot, partly there, partly not there. So they're kind of learning that how do we create spaces without everything being there, but you need to imagine the holistic set and yet create this environment.
One last question, so that our audience, which could be parents, students who do not know much about BID, if you can give a little insight into what to expect and for whom it might be a great discipline.
So essentially BID, or Bachelor of Interior Design, which is part of the Faculty of Design, is one of the only courses which is 5 years course within the interior design domain. and it has now been more than 35 years that this course has been over here, which means it's thoroughly kind of let's say programmed and structured. And over a recent time, when we have different studios which are coming together, each studios have their own set of pedagogy, right? And it becomes a student-based or a choice-based program over here. So I have only, let's say, 10 students. There are multiple different students which are there. So it becomes like a more guru shishya kind of a parampara, but in a more confined set of knowledge or defined set of a body of knowledge, expertise, and that is what it is promoting. Also, most important part, unlike the across entire India, this is the only course where student can choose different studio, which means that every student, right, who are going to basically kind of pass out at 5th year and final year, they all have a different body of knowledge and different niche of knowledge, which means that they will be establishing themselves through those body of knowledge, and it does not become more like a factory production where everybody has the same body of knowledge.
Okay. So choice based is one of the strong points at CEPT and
a choice based and a smaller unit, so instead of having basically 30-40 kids,
12,
you have basically 10 to 12 kids, and hence it becomes more focused, right? So over here we know each and every kid, we know what they like, what they do not like, how do they behave. It becomes easier to kind of connect with them, easier to kind of know that these are their strengths, these are their weaknesses, and this is what we need to basically work upon. Also, what will become critical at some point is that if those person has inclination more towards, let's say, visualization, or more towards hands-on something, or more towards analytical, then we are able to also foresee that, because the smaller group, you can actually basically understand students far better, and you are able to guide them and nurture their skills and abilities better.
Okay.
Right?
Perfect. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks a lot.
And so we are going to go next into the Faculty of Technology, and we are going to see you on the other side. Thank you. I'll take care of mine. Okay, perfect.
I'll give you your cards.
So we welcome you all to the Faculty of Technology, and I have Akshata with me. She's going to give us an overview of BCT, which is Bachelor's of Construction Technology. Now it has been renamed to Bachelor's in Civil Engineering. So hi, Akshata.
Hi.
Akshata is a final year student. So Akshata, can you tell us a little bit about the BCT program, or BCE
Sure.
now?
Yes. So BCE, which is the Bachelor's in Civil Engineering, it is a 5-year program, and it is a 5-year bachelor's program in civil engineering, which is a one of its kind program. So not a lot of engineering schools actually offer a 5-year program, but here we are not just looking at engineering. So we're looking at how we mix engineering with design, with planning, with management, with architecture.
Okay.
So it's so much more than engineering.
Okay. Oh, that's very interesting. I didn't know this. So that's the beauty of some of the programs at CEPT.
Right.
That what you read and what actually it has.
Yeah.
It has a lot more than.
It's more than books, more than textbooks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And can you explain a little bit about the kind of work which happens, or the kind of courses or content or studios, as we say in CEPT?
Yes.
So any example of it?
So actually we don't open a lot of textbooks.
Okay.
We learn everything by doing. We utilize software skills, we utilize workshop skills, we utilize our hands-on skills to understand concepts.
Okay.
So a lot of different software which is not really used by a lot of civil engineering students are actually used by our students to solve complex problems.
Okay.
For example, this is a level 3 studio. Level 3 is our 4th and 5th year students.
Okay.
We are using software called water gems and sewer gems. Now
Okay.
these are softwares that actual professionals in the industry they use to plan the sewerage and the water systems of the cities.
All right.
Nobody would realize that actually civil engineering students would do this kind of work at their
Yes.
undergraduate level. So this is the way that we're actually looking at civil engineering or built environment. It's not really civil engineering of buildings.
So also, which means these kind of engineers, let's say, would also be going into planning and strategy.
Right.
Right.
So
it's not just solving complex technical problem,
Yeah.
but also strategizing on the
Definitely. We don't limit ourselves to buildings or bridges or roads.
Yes.
We go in depth. We learn about cities. We learn about how urban cities, what are the problems that cities are facing. So we have some studios which actually look at engineering sustainability, how we can reduce the energy used in our buildings, and how we can reduce the embodied carbon in the buildings. So these are just some of the few examples of what we do.
And from your experience, because now you're the final year student,
Yeah.
Anything you want to tell the aspirants?
Yeah.
You know, just imagine that a young student who was you at some point of time 5 years back is coming for this kind of course. Anything you want to tell them?
I think if you're expecting a lot of textbook knowledge, this is not the place for that.
Okay.
But if you really enjoy learning and doing things, if you really enjoy solving problems, CEPT is a lot about solving problems more than it is about getting a degree. So you learn how to solve problems, you learn how to become an empath towards the different problems in the built environment and not just an engineer. So yeah,
And
that's
I'll ask you to accompany me to the next program.
Yeah.
And which was your favorite course so far in your 5-year journey?
So I think it would be concrete technology.
Okay.
Because that was one studio where I could actually kind of develop and make something of my own. It was a very heavily research and development oriented studio where I did not just learn about concrete, but I also developed a concrete of my own. So I was able to develop a cementless concrete, 100% cementless concrete from just fly ash and GGBS, which are two waste materials. So it was also sustainable and it was something of my own. So that was one of my favorite studios.
Thank you so much, Akshata.
Thank you.
And I'll just request the mic back.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. And we have Naman. There you go. So we have Naman from MCEM program.
Yes.
So Naman, if you can give us a little bit background about yourself.
Okay.
And then about the MCEM program, it will be great.
So myself, Naman Kumar, I did my bachelor's in civil engineering from Nirma University.
Okay.
And I am currently pursuing my master's in construction engineering and management from the CEPT University. So talking about master's in construction engineering and CEPT University, it is a very highly recognized course internationally due to its student exchange and the placements. The course focuses on the building professionals for the construction management field.
Okay.
Masters of Technology in Construction Engineering and Management basically aims to train the engineers and architects to become competent in the competent professionals in the field of construction engineering and project management.
Okay.
The course basically focuses on the project management, contract management, construction quality management, construction safety, digital construction, etc.
Okay.
The most unique part about the course is its studio pedagogy.
Okay.
During the studio, the students need to visit the site twice a week at least, so that they get the real life exposure to the projects as well as they get the chance to interact with the industry professionals.
Okay.
So during the course, they get enrolled in 3 studios. The first studio is the construction project formulation and appraisal. So that comes in the first semester. So in this studio, the students basically learn the feasibility study of mega projects. So after completing this studio, students are compatible to or conduct a feasibility study, or they can say that the project is viable to execute or not.
Okay.
So the companies which generally perform the advisory work, consulting firm, or the risk monitoring firm are basically performing such types of jobs.
So we can say MCEM program is a management program in a way.
Yeah, construction management,
construction
project
project management.
Yeah.
Well, that's very interesting because yes, you need someone who understands the in-depth understanding of what goes on, and a regular management college might not be able to help because they're taught. Well, yes, it is management, but they're trained on other context, not on construction specific.
Yeah, so exactly the construction management helps in the getting the more accuracy and efficiency of the project.
Definitely, and they also know what goes on
Yes,
with the
exactly on the
engineers on
site.
site and the
Yeah,
labor on site and the
exactly.
different so many factors,
Yeah.
water and whether cement is coming in or
Yeah.
yes.
So similarly, I was coming to that point that in second studio, the second studio is construction execution, monitoring, and control.
Okay.
So in this studio, students learn about the best practices going on the site. So this is not only limited to the India, but it is also they also observe the practices which are followed throughout the world, and they
Okay.
try to explain to the site people also. Like they
Okay.
need to learn from the they need to they learn from the college, and they apply they give the application to the site people. So during this studio, they work with the contractors and they very closely monitor the activities going on the sites.
Okay. Okay.
So they get the real life experience of the ongoing projects. They understand the inventory management, quality management. Then they understand. They also apply some of the lean practices. Like lean is coming. Lean is very new to the India currently,
Okay.
and everyone
Okay.
wants to learn the lean construction. So they apply lean practices after learning from the college.
Okay. Got it.
Similarly, they have the third studio, which is integrated construction practices.
Okay.
So in third studio, they learn about the collaborative approach and the digital part of the construction. So now India is experiencing a huge infrastructure demand, or the India is undergoing a huge infrastructure development. So digitalization, accuracy, efficiency are very crucial for any projects. So they in third studio they learn about how the latest software can be incorporated in the construction to achieve the efficiency, and how collaborative approach can help in getting the more accuracy of any project.
Okay.
So this is about the third studio.
Okay.
And the another unique part of the course is that the faculties which come to for teaching the course are mixture of highly qualified academicians as well as the highly experienced professionals. So the student gets input of both the world, and they are also ready for both the world, academics as well as professional.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Naman, for giving us such a comprehensive understanding of the program.
Yeah.
I think I really simplified it for us. I think for the studio, I think Mruga would be
Mruga.
telling us. So I'll take the mic from him. Thank you so much. Now we have Mruga who will be explaining the. So you have that clip. Yeah, works. So yes, Mruga, you want to explain the studio, and you can tell us which.
Under our studio, construction project execution, monitoring and control, we have undertook a project which was on multi-speciality hospital.
Okay.
So this was the site layout. So using Revit we have prepared it, and it shows right now what the construction is going on, at what stage our building is there. So through this we can learn this, and foreman delay survey is a lean technique to show that how carpenter and helpers, how effectively they are doing the work, and what wastages are there, what we need to remove, and how the process can be done efficiently. Similarly, in linear responsibility chart, we learned that on-site as well as head office officials, what are the roles related to quality and everything. Then in tools of quality, we have find out the non-conformities, that how they should be taken care of. In material and inventory management, we found out that at what stage the stock gets completed on your own site, and at what time we need to order it, and how the management should be done for the resources on site. Then we have the most important part, that is pour planning, that how much formwork material should be used or will be used for the whole project, how much reinforcement will be needed, and how much concreting, and how we need to plan it. In value stream mapping, we studied that how activities can be done effectively and efficiently. Then using Primavera P6 software and risk analysis software, we have studied the risk which are ongoing on the sites, and based on that, what are the consequences and how they can be mitigated. And for risk analysis, these graphs were generated, and earned value was as using ESCO graph. We know that how much it will be over budgeted or on scheduled, or how much we need to take the steps to control the project for proper management.
Okay, and this is your project, is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's pretty comprehensive, I would say. But I can see the amount, because the projects, not only the money involved, but the scale of everything. You know, you need million tons of cement, and like the scale can go. So you need a very detailed plan to make it work.
Yeah, definitely.
And because thousands of people are also involved, and they're working with hazardous conditions sometimes, because everything
Yeah.
You know, there is
On-site consequences are different.
are there. So
Yes,
safety, and
definitely.
also it makes a lot of sense to have a in-depth course to make student understand,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
that makes you the whole process more efficient, safer,
Yes.
human-centric.
So along with time, cost, and everything, quality and safety also matters.
Yes.
So that was the main management part in this
Okay.
studio.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Nuga.
Thank you.
Okay, and can you escort me to the, explain the geomatics? We can take it, yeah. Yeah. Yes.
So you'll be asking, or I'll start?
You can continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after completing this course, students get the opportunity to get hired from the various national as well as multinational companies.
Okay.
So the companies which work on the project management, then construction execution, then risk auditing, then after valuation firms, design coordination firm, government agencies are some of the companies where students get hired. So after completing the course, students have more than 20 roles to select from, which helps them to boost their career in much better path. And the course helps the students to gain the interaction with the industry professionals, as well as they can learn from the real life ongoing projects, as they need to visit the sites twice a week.
Okay.
Moreover, during the studio, students learn to build the capacity of collaborative working, team building, which are very much essential for any companies or any corporate employees. They also get the ability to of problem solving, critical thinking, etc. During the course, students also get the opportunity to interact with the industry professionals of international industries via expert lecture or any other means of communication.
Okay.
So this
Okay.
was about the MCM program.
Okay. And currently you are a student over here?
So currently I am fourth semester student, and I will be
Okay.
just completing, and I am proud to say that I have been placed to a very nice company with a very good package.
Okay, great.
And I am proud to be a part of this set.
And you enjoyed the program in
Yes, in
MCM?
fact, in starting, I was very much like I have not expected or experienced this kind of environment or pressure of working.
Yes, no,
So
definitely.
initially it was difficult, but after completing 2 years, getting a response from the companies and site that, oh, you are from SEPT University.
No.
So this make me felt proud that yes, I have been to a good place, and I am proud and I am satisfied from my master's program that I have learned enough to go to the site.
No, exactly. All the rigor that everyone is put through, it actually eventually makes a lot of difference, because it shows.
Even a lot of industry professionals visit these exhibitions, and they appreciate a lot.
Yeah,
Like
actually,
we have the currently ongoing industry experts coming, which are appreciating the students' work, and they are quite impressed by the quantity of work they are doing.
Yes. No, I totally agree. Acha, Naman, can you help me? Now we have to go to geomatics
Yeah,
with Shravya.
so-
If you can help us guide us.
So she is
Hi, Shravya. Thank you, Naman. Okay. So Shravya is going to take us through masters in geomatics. Now this word geomatics is very interesting for me. Honestly, I don't know almost anything about it.
Yeah.
Right? So if you can explain me about the program.
Sure. So MTech Geomatics is a 2 years master program under Faculty of Technology at SEPT University. So mainly this program focuses on knowing our world through maps, satellite images, and also computer technology.
Okay.
We'll understand we'll understand through maps and also computer technology, remote sensing. We will solve the real life problems of the world through these technologies and tools and techniques. And also we focuses on we usually work on locations, like we will locate where are roads, where are cities, and also agriculture fields, and also rivers, parks. And we will also observe how these are changing over time. And also we will analyze through machine learning and also geomatics tools and techniques, and solve these problems. And also how these changes are happening, if the urban expansion is happening, to which direction the development go to the city. So we'll analyze those future perspective of the cities.
Okay.
So geomatics all about getting the future perspective of cities.
Okay, so can we also say that one is it's data driven
Yes.
to get the real insight to what is happening.
Yes.
One is I think you might also study the previous data and where it is heading to speculate
Exactly.
future, right?
So from the past data to the present and predicting the future, how it might explore, how it may expand.
And basically, so geomatics deals with studying from a bird's eye point of view.
Exactly.
And having an overall
as we having
picture.
the remote sensing as a major tool. So remote sensing is something we get the data from remote. It's not in the physical contact. So the satellite images we work on is something the bird eye view. So where we get the data of globe. Geo is earth. So we get the earth data through the remote sensing or the different tools.
Okay. And do you want to explain any of the project to as an example of what you have done?
Sure. So coming to, we're standing near the semester 2 of our studio work. In the semester 1, we've understood how to explain our studies and projects through maps in through geomatics tools and techniques. So the second semester team deals with the GIS for smart city. GIS is like geographic information system. So GIS is can be called as like a super weapon for the smart cities to run the city smoothly.
Okay.
So in this, we have worked on Rajkot city, the smart city of Gujarat, one of the smart city of Gujarat. So where the students have worked on different thematical areas. First, we have had a site visit and understood what the smart city is like existing situation. So we have identified few problems. So example like accessibility, solid waste management, tourism, parking facilities like traffic is a major issue, and also public charging infrastructure, earthquake vulnerability, and emergency response for the any emergency outbreak. So these are the major themes our students worked on. So I'll just brief you two of the projects. So coming to the locating twin winds for solid waste management. So in this, the student first analyzed the existing situation of solid waste management collection and transportation and disposal from start to end of the solid waste. So where he finds some gaps, there are some areas which are not having proper collection system.
Okay.
So so he took small area of that region and also finalized, like gave the two solutions.
Okay.
One is like improving the twin bins, like dust bins, along the public streets and commercial streets, where people coming to the streets can use the twin bins for the waste collection. And also the second thing is to collect the waste technique through a rerouting of system. So he proposed a new route for the whole solid waste management.
Okay.
And also that helps the Rajkot city to reduce the cost efficiency and also fuel maintenance. And also it helps the it reduces the overall budget of the thing, and also increasing the time, like it reduces the time and efficiency, increases the efficiency.
Okay.
And these are the other projects, and the other one is like public charging infrastructure for electric vehicles. So these days we can see many of the people are switching from normal vehicles to the electric vehicles. So this helps to city to make sustainable. So one of the main goal of smart city is also to make cities sustainable. So if we change it to the EV vehicles, it helps to reduce the green gas emissions. So for this, many people can't charge their vehicles in their houses. So maybe they need the public infrastructure. Maybe many of the Rajkot people are not shifting because they lack the infrastructure.
Exactly. So basically, how much you can cover the overall population.
So here there are already existing 12 stations, but it is catering only 47% of the city.
Yeah.
So now the student worked on catering it to next the more expanding of city and proposed 6 more locations for installing the EV stations, EV charging stations. So it is now catering 85 to 90% of the city, where almost the users who wants to switch to EV can use the infrastructure. So which is making the city sustainable and people making smarter to live in.
I think this is a very crucial tool for strategy and planning.
Yes.
Because if you don't know what is the density, where they're living, and if you plan
where to propose,
exactly, because it's possible that just targeting 12 location can cater to, let's say, 80% of the population also, depending on how critically
where
you
you're
target.
locating that.
Where you're locating
So
that.
geomatics, it all deals with these techniques. It helps you to learn which are the suitable locations you can market. So you will learn to the real life problems. So we can just see here, like we are dealing with traffic, dealing with EV and solid waste management, and pointing the best locations. So it comes, this is the major heart of the geomatics, what it does.
And I can see a connecting line between all the different disciplines of yours. And I'll request you to accompany me.
Sure.
So I can see all of them are connected.
Yeah.
Right? So like, it's almost like one person will come in, fill in the gap, and then the next person can take it, the baton, and then fill in the gap, and all together.
And if the further students who want to work for the Rajkot or the study, they can also take these gaps further, the gaps we had, and also fulfill the study further also.
Oh, yes. Thank you. And now we are going to, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll request the mic back.
Sure.
No, it's okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now we are Faculty of Technology and we are meeting Stuti, is it? No. Manan, right?
Yes.
Manan, here's your mic. And Manan, can you give us a little background about about yourself?
Okay.
And then about the program.
Sure. Yeah. So hello everyone. I am Manan Palan, a student of final semester in this program, which is titled as Masters in Structural Engineering Design. So this program focuses mainly to create a development and to create a theoretical and conceptual development of the industry. So in this program, 4 different types of semester incorporates 4 different types of studios.
Okay.
So in the first semester, as you can see today, the construction is not just about steel and concrete.
Yes.
So there are many materials which are being used in this industry.
Okay.
So as a part of that understanding and a part of that idea, in the first semester itself, structural forms and material studio is introduced. And in that studio, various types of materials are explored and students use those materials in the assigned projects. In the second semester, as you can see here, it talks about as you can see here, it talks about design of reinforced concrete structures.
Okay.
So in this studio, relevant Indian standard codes initially are introduced along with some basic theories, and along with that, site visits and expert lecture go hand in hand. After those things, various types of structures with various types of irregularities which are mentioned in Indian standard codes are assigned as a project.
Okay.
The student may come across with a project with flat slab, with vertical irregularity, and as an example, we can look up to this project. So a student named Malav was assigned a project with non-orthogonal framing system. In this, a special load combination are to be considered, which is mentioned in Indian Standard Code.
Okay.
And along with that, a problem which may occur in this type of problem statement is that it can be a torsionally irregular building, which is very dangerous during earthquake.
Yes.
So student come across that problem, they analyze it, various iterations are provided to formulate a final structure system where there is no torsional, and after that displacement checks and all those serviceability and strength checks which are mandatory in this field are performed.
Okay. Okay.
So this is about the second semester studio.
Okay.
And in the third semester, design of steel structure is offered as a studio, in which, as in this semester, it is about reinforced concrete.
Yeah.
In the third semester, it is about steel. So material used in the third semester to design the projects are about steel.
Okay.
And in the process remain the same as in the second semester. And in the final semester, that is the fourth semester, 3 optional studios are offered. The first one, which may I...
Yes, please.
So in the first studio in the final semester talks about the bridge design. So in that studio as well, there are various types of bridges, using various materials are assigned as a project. As you can see here, the model representation. This is a river bridge. Then this is a precast girder bridge.
Okay.
Here you can see a bridge with a cantilever deck.
and so on. So these are the visual representation of the bridge done by the student themselves.
Okay. Actually, I come from Dehradun, so they're building a river bridge between Delhi and Dehradun.
Okay.
So now I see what kind of foundation goes, because
Yes.
from outside you cannot see it.
You cannot.
So now I understand. When you said river bridge, I realize it's built over the river, right?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what.
Yes.
Okay.
So the second optional studio is about structural strengthening and rehabilitation. So in India, this sector is going to contribute significantly in coming years.
Okay.
So the idea of this studio is to develop an understanding to how to repair and rehabilitate already existing structures. Yes. So the process remains same. Everyone is getting a project with different types of material, and these projects are actual projects, actual site projects.
Yes.
So as an example, we can look up to the problem statement of Bhomik, and he was assigned to repair and strengthen an G+4 story RCC residential building.
Okay, and this is it actually
Yes,
existing?
this is
building?
an actual.
Where is it though?
As you can see here, it is in Ahmedabad itself.
Only.
So the process is that they come, they go to the site, they visually inspect the site, they detect the damages in the sites, they take the photographs, they take the data, necessary data, they come here, they model it in various softwares like ETABS, Dyna, which are used in this industry. And after that, they analyze the structure using various techniques that may include a pushover analysis, non-linear analysis, and so on. And after that, result interpretations are done by them, and they figure out what are the techniques that can be provided to strengthen a particular frame. So it can be so that various solutions can be applicated. Implied.
True. Sometimes you also need multiple solutions for the same thing, because sometimes you cannot apply one.
Yes.
Could be economical constraint or could be physical constraint. So you have to know a lot more. So you cannot just know one or two techniques and apply everywhere.
So idea is here is the same, that you come up with various solutions, you compare it it may be in the aspect as pricing, or maybe it can be about a site, how the client wants it. So there may be various aspects by which they will compare it, and final solution, they will come up with a final solution for the same.
Okay.
And the third studio, which is offered in the final semester, it talks about long span complex structure.
Okay.
So in that, there are long span structures that may include a airport terminal, or maybe a stadium, or it can be an exhibition center or plaza. So in that also, initial form is developed by the student. An initial shape is developed by the student.
Okay.
And they will analyze and design the same in the software.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's pretty comprehensive. Your department, Faculty of Technology, I've been here for a couple of months.
Yes.
But what goes inside each course, unless you talk to someone, unless there's someone who can show around with examples, but it's very impressive, I would say.
Yes.
Because, and all these departments are, like I saw, it's not independent of each other.
No.
All the students, in fact, all your friends and batchmate eventually might be meeting each other for a single project.
Definitely. So we as a structural engineer can work as a geotechnical engineer as well.
Okay.
So the coordination, the collaboration is always required.
And also the projects are so massive. So we
need to collaborate with many other
experts. So, yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Manan. And I'll just take the mic.
Sure.
And that was lovely talking to you. Thank you. Hi, Stuti. There you go. This is your mic. And Stuti will be taking us through masters in building energy performance.
Yeah.
And I love this name.
Yeah.
Building energy performance. So can you tell us a little bit about the program?
Definitely. So as we know, we are in the middle of climate change, and 40% of the energy that is produced worldwide is consumed by buildings.
Yeah.
So buildings are the energy guzzlers.
Okay, yes.
So, and because it's a human habitat, we cannot just stop making buildings.
Yeah.
We need to make them high performance. Maybe we need to make them more efficient in terms of energy. So that is what we do in this
So
program.
you cannot do without them. So therefore, since we have to use them, better to make it more
efficient,
sustainable and efficient.
Yeah, and I feel like the need of the program is in the current time because there will always be more buildings as compared to more industries. So each building that we build inefficiently is going to load us more than in an industry, I would say. So what we basically focus on is that we build buildings such that it takes advantage of the surrounding climate to cool itself down. Because the highest amount of energy consumption in a country like India is cooling down the building.
Yes.
We all require ACs.
Yes.
And with the intensifying heat waves, the need, like, now it has become a need, not a luxury.
Yeah.
So that is what we deal with. And so for the second semester, we have an HVAC lab, which is heating, ventilation, air conditioning lab. Here we study air conditioning systems and how do you size an air conditioning system? How do you reduce the tonnage of air conditioning required? In a building, is it possible to make it naturally ventilated? Is it possible to run it in a mixed mode? All those kind of analysis we try to do.
Do you consider air conditioning to be the last resort and better cool it through other natural methods? I don't know.
I won't say that because based on the use case of the building,
of
per
course.
se, then we are designing a library. It is definite that you will need air conditioner.
Also because to protect the books and the resources
in
inside.
terms of temperature,
Moisture,
relative humidity, you will need air conditioner. But does not mean that you put an inefficient one.
Yeah.
You need to have a better HVAC schematic. So that is what we see here. If you take a look over these sheets, so we try to understand and formulate systems serving each zone. And that is the basic principle of HVAC. There's a basic learning from HVAC system that depending on the need of the building, we design an HVAC system rather than convenience.
So when you say need of the building, some factors that you would like to share with our audience?
Yeah. So per se, that through various research and that we have understood that human comfort varies with outdoor temperature. So we study the outdoor temperature. Based on that, we derive a comfort band. A person will be comfortable between say 26 to 28. So in that range. So according to that, this is the outdoor, this is the indoor. What kind of system should I apply?
How do I reach from there to here?
Yes, definitely. Because buildings are enclosed spaces, they will interact with the environment, they will interact with the ambient. So we try that we minimize the sensitivity of the building. Sensitivity in the sense that the temperature is going high, साथ में the building temperature is also going high. Not like that. If outside temperature is 41 degrees Celsius per se, in this hour, we intend to build a buildings that after maybe 2-3 hours, the temperature would reach near to 41 somewhere. So those are the parameters that we take a look at while in this course. Other than that, main concern is about the energy. How much energy consumption we can reduce while maintaining comfort, because at the end of the day we use air conditioners to feel comfortable. If you are comfortable, you will automatically not switch on air conditioner. If you are comfortable, automatically you will not turn down the air conditioner set point. So those are the things that we study, so on and so forth. And we are lucky to be on campus with so many varied kinds of structures, definitely. And we have such varied kind of systems also. So one of the major activity that we did was do a case study of all the different kinds of HVAC systems across the campus. So we have different kinds of HVAC systems because the use case are different. Like you go to the workshop, the area is, there are larger spaces and open areas. So how do you cool down that? So they have evaporative cooling. If you want to take a look, so they will have evaporative cooling. So this is how we analyze the particulate matter levels. So it's not just cooling, it is then also air quality. So that will also matter. So in an enclosed environment where you are recirculating the same air, health concerns rise when you are talking about the CO2 levels in the room or the particulate matter levels. So that is also something that matters really when you are designing an HVAC system, highlighting the V for ventilation. So that is what I would say. And while this would be the first half of the semester, I would say that we would study all this, gather data, evidences, and for the second half we simulate. Simulation is basically, every one of us, we are 18 people in the program, each one of us is given a different city, different
Okay.
Indian city from a different climate zone,
Hmm.
and the same building envelope.
Okay.
And you design for a given target.
And do you work on theoretical data from these cities, or do you actually go and visit these cities and
We basically work on just the climate data from the
climate
city.
data from the city?
Understanding the climate
Yes.
itself can help us do a
Definitely.
lot.
Yes.
And then we using energy simulation softwares, we simulate, and then we receive results regarding the same, and try and see how else we can
reacts.
improve it.
Okay.
So basically, it is I would say a very good blend of architecture and engineering in a way, because
and I think the beauty is it's about human factors.
Yeah,
in the sense
definitely.
of it's human comfort and human safety both.
Yes,
So more than anything, you're trying to make their life. It's not for the building. It's for the
Yeah,
people who are
it's
in,
for
in,
the
in-
people,
in-
yeah.
in the building. So
We consider the building to be a very dynamic ecosystem, continuously interacting with its surrounding, with its occupants. So it has to be extremely sensitive, or it has to be extremely
resilient.
resilient. Yeah.
Okay.
So with the coming era that we are facing,
Yeah.
such high temperatures,
And climate change is real.
change,
I can
it's
actually
real.
feel it.
So for people who are a little bit privileged enough, who are able to pay the bills, it's fine. But when we are talking about little vulnerable communities, we're trying to build an adobe which protects them against the heat.
Yes.
So that is something
Like public
we are going-
projects.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Where
Public
a lot of
projects.
people are going to interact, whether it's a bus stand, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
or public
Yeah.
spaces.
Definitely. So that is basically it. That's what we do at Building Energy Performance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you tell me which was your favorite course so far?
My most favorite thing was to do the case study, I would say,
Yeah.
across the campus, because we're trying to envision
Yeah.
what happens. So we had a measurement and experimentation where we were trying to derive an optimum air conditioner set point for a given space.
Okay. Okay.
So in that, we broke the myth that air conditioning set point is just one number. It's not.
Okay.
It has to be 52 different numbers based on the outdoor temperatures.
Okay.
So from 8% comfort, bringing it to 100% comfortable range, while saving energy. So that was my most favorite part of the semester, I would say. Because also it has larger applicability. When you see to it, like there's always a debate at home, at office, what should be the AC set point? For people it's too cold, for some people it's too warm.
Now you're technically trained to tell them.
Yeah.
What should be
Technically we're trained to tell them that this is the optimum one, it will cool you down as well as save you energy.
Perfect. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you so
Stuti.
much. Thank you.
And thank you for giving us and to all the students from Faculty of Technology, give us an overview and an in-depth understanding of their respective discipline.
Definitely.
I'm pretty sure the parents and students now will have a very good idea regarding each program, and if they need any other information, they can reach out to the admissions office for any particular query, any specific query, and CEPT University would love to answer all those. And tomorrow we're going to meet and understand Faculty of Management and Faculty of Architecture. So at the same time, we'll see you tomorrow in tomorrow's stream, and till then,